You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. By going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com, you can make this possible. It was a week ago when Facebook announced the ban of a number of people who they say instigate hate on their platforms, banning them from Facebook and Instagram. One of those folks is Nation of Islam minister Louis Farrakhan. After being silent for a week, he spoke last night at St. Sabina Catholic Church in Chicago at the invitation of the church's pastor, Father Michael Flager. And this is what Minister Farrakhan had to say.
And here we are today. Some of us could not come out tonight because they did not wish to be censured by those who presently have power to censure. But that power is gradually being taken from you.
All right, folks, we have an issue with our video playback. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do an end around, so I'll work on that in just 1 second. But I do want to go to our panel right now to talk about that. But also, we'll talk about one of the other co-founders of Facebook, Chris Hughes, who says that Facebook has gotten too big. He published an op-ed in the New York Times saying it is time to break up the conglomerate. Our guest, Eugene Craig, CEO, Eugene Craig Organization, Teresa Lundy, founder, TML Communications, Joseph Williams, senior editor, U.S. News and World Report. Joseph, I'll start with you. Lots of drama. First of all, Facebook is preparing for a major fine from the Federal Trade Commission. Some say it could be as high as $5 billion. They've had privacy issues. They've been, of course, allowing third-party companies to see users' data. And so on this ban of different individuals who they say incite hate, which includes Alex Jones and others, they're now also having one of the founders saying they have gotten too big. And then you have people like Elizabeth Warren and others who are on the road saying, who are on the campaign trail saying that Facebook is too big. Do you believe that with Republicans and Democrats, both of them criticizing Facebook, we're moving towards it actually happening?
I think we are, because we have both sides doing that. And in response to a lot of what has happened, you not only had the sharing of information, the political shenanigans from 2016, you also had the data breach that happened where not only did Facebook share its data with Cambridge Analytica and some other people, they also got hacked and users' information was spread far and wide. So I think it is time to break up big tech, but the question is what comes next and how do you do it?
And the issue, Teresa, we're dealing with is, like, even when you're talking about what has happened, how Facebook has been such a disruptor. First and foremost, when you look at how they've obliterated the media industry, when you combine the digital dollars of advertising, literally 60 to 70% of all digital dollars going to Facebook as well as Google, which owns YouTube, other platforms. And when you look at just the massive amounts of data they have here, Facebook has not done itself many favors with how they've responded to lots of this drama.
I think Facebook is responding the way new startup companies are responding, which means for me and many others, they're not really taking in context the amount of opportunity that it is with other medium outlets. So I don't think they followed the blueprint with Google, with YouTube, because a lot of YouTube is obviously content creation. Same thing Facebook is, but it's also allowing users to now write the blog posts. So what does that mean? They're now taken away from WordPress, right? Which WordPress, that website was essentially established to do blogging. And so what I think, outside of having a young millennial CEO, is that when we encounter some of these situations that Facebook is having, their response time is one, it's not working for the public at large. It's very directed and it feels like it's being attacked. And I think if they came out and actually started to support organizations a little more, they did recently with the Giving Tuesday, So Giving Tuesday, nonprofits have the opportunity every Tuesday to upload, ask users to upload and support. But an issue with that is Facebook doesn't recognize a lot of smaller nonprofits. They recognize the larger ones. So again, if I was on the Facebook strategy team, I would probably tell them that they need to invest in more community dialogues and conversations and really start having those focus groups again to see what the people want and how the people could stand with them, further as it relates to controversy that they obviously is going to happen.
Hopefully, I think we have the video file ready right now. So here's Minister Farrakhan in Chicago. All right, so we don't have the video file. So Eugene, go right ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and try to play it from here.
The thing is this. What you see on Facebook is what happens when you have a company that experiences consecutive years of hypergrowth and prioritizes growth over everything. Do I think Facebook needs to be broken up? No. I'm not a proponent of government coming in and deciding how big a company should be.
Yeah, but the reality is we have history here.
Already.
Look, Teddy Roosevelt
I was gonna say, we went through
broke
that
up
phase.
major companies because they had gotten to the point. They were such large monopolies that it was the whole trust, all the different trusts.
We went through the whole, we have the reason we have antitrust laws today. But when looking at particularly Facebook, I mean, you're seeing Facebook's a unique case where you had a company that experienced hypergrowth, has been a disruptor, and now is becoming the establishment. The issue, I mean, I think the bigger issue with Facebook is that, they're seeking to, on one end you have, folk that are calling for the breakup. On the other end, you have them sitting down with Facebook's lobbyists to write the rules for the rest of the game. I don't think breaking up Facebook is going to fix that particular problem, where Facebook has now become essentially the establishment. With the,
So that's like lobbying 101, though, right?
It is lobbying 101.
Once you become big enough, then
you write the rules.
Help to write the rules.
I mean, to a degree, you can consider Facebook and Twitter and a lot of the big social platforms banks by a new name. They're, instead of coming cash, the new currency is data, and they have it all.
Hold tight 1 second. So I'm going to go ahead and play this video of Minister Farrakhan last night. Guys, go ahead.
I don't have no army. I just know the truth. And I'm here to separate the good Jews from the satanic Jews. Yes, yes, yes! This is just the beginning, banning me from a social platform. I use that platform with respect. I never allowed those who follow me to become vile as those who speak evil of us. So I am dangerous. And here we are today. Some of us could not come out tonight because they did not wish to be censured by those who presently have power to censure. But that power is gradually being taken from you. And I am so grateful to God that he made me an instrument to bring that end of your wicked system of injustice. Jesus said, I give you this day 2 commandments. And if we focused on those 2 commandments, we can walk through what's happening with Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and the hatred that is shown toward me. If you could dig into those 2 commandments, you can overcome the disease of envy. that keeps us divided against each other. I have not said one word of hate. I do not hate Jewish people. Not one that is with me has ever committed a crime against the Jewish people, black people, white people, no matter what your color is. As long as you don't attack us, we don't bother you.
All right, folks. That was the interview there. Again, what is interesting here is Facebook still has not fully explained how they arrived at that decision to ban individuals. I think, look, yes, you can make that call, but it's still worthy of an explanation.
Yeah.
So you know what crosses the line.
I mean, I'll say this. I think with a lot of the other,
Or is this like porn in the Supreme Court? You know it when you see it.
Right.
Yeah, I think in this particular case, I think that with most of the individuals on that list, like Alex Jones and others, it's kind of cut and dry. When it comes to the Minister Farrakhan, what he's become is a lot of folks go to when they want equilibrium. When Senator Scott, wrote his article on the climate of our country, he used Minister Farrakhan for equilibrium, and I think that's what Facebook did here. Has Minister Farrakhan said some anti-Semitic things? Absolutely. Some indefensible things? Absolutely. But if there was a way to scale, I think, if I'm looking at a Jacob Worrell or a Alex Jones or some of these other far-right individuals who, are just pure white supremacists in their blood, cut and dry, I don't know if I necessarily put them on the same levels as Minister Farrakhan, but I think this is Facebook looking for some level of equilibrium. You got to think about this, put in further perspective. This time last year, Facebook was sitting down with folk on the right, about quote-unquote conservative censorship. So it's not as if Facebook hasn't taken the opportunity or bended the knee to the conservative movement and their bemoans.
See, I don't know. I mean, you're absolutely right that Farrakhan's a complex picture, but the lack of a clear and decisive standard, I think, is going to bite them in the end.
I agree.
I mean, I don't think that you can just kind of toss Minister Farrakhan on the pile and call it a day. I mean, and at the end of the day, I mean, he's a very complex figure, and he has advocating for African Americans and not against white people per se. I mean, he's not commanding his people to go out and kill. And I think that part of what Facebook is facing here, I mean, not only in trying to bring some equilibrium here, but their lack of a clear standard. If he decided to sue, I mean, it's
I will say this, even if he decided to sue, I don't think, the First Amendment doesn't apply to private companies.
No, but there again we get the argument about how powerful Facebook
Right,
has
and that's
become.
the piece. And
Right, how powerful is
so
it?
it's reached the point that you might be a private company, but you control so much of the discourse and so much of this communication landscape. That's why there are people who are saying that a Facebook or a Google, they are damn near getting close to being a utility.
Yeah.
Well, and there's a lot of talk about that, regulating them as a utility.
So, I just think that, again, from their vantage point, the question is going to be, when do you reach a point where you're so big, but you still might want to explain why somebody actually got
And I think
banned. So.
Minister Farrakhan actually mentioned that at, where was he at?
State Sabine in Chicago.
Yeah.
He mentioned that there. He said, I want everyone to take out their phones and go Facebook Live.
Well, and there you go.
And so he literally put Facebook to the test. He's, wanted to test his limits, and none of them got removed. But again, if you don't have those standards in place, if you don't have better practices in place in order for your company to go to the next level where you are actually telling people this is why we took you down, then you're going to have everyone, from celebrities, from influencers are going to be putting Facebook to the test, which ultimately, like you said before,
it's already happening. I mean, Facebook itself, is divided on multiple platforms. But Facebook, the platform, is a dying platform right now, and Instagram's starting to slow down quite a bit to the point where,
so where are you getting those facts from?
well, you can look them up. Where to the point where now they're testing not even having likes and comments on content. And so they're looking for creative ways to stay alive. It's WhatsApp that's driving them.
Yeah, but who owns WhatsApp?
Facebook.
There you go.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment.
Hey, fam, I'm inviting you to come out swinging and join me for a day of golf at the University for Parents Golf Tournament on Saturday, June 22nd in Southwest Atlanta's Wolf Creek Golf Course. It's a golf tournament with a purpose, a fundraiser for the University for Parents, a program designed to empower parent learners through education, inspiration, and support. And when you empower the parents, you empower the children too. The location of the tournament is 3000 Union Road, and the shotgun start time is 9 a.m. To register, please go to www.u4parents.org. For more information, be sure to call 770-316-3487. I hope to see you there.
Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.